Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about prayer, specifically how to pray and what prayer does, really fundamentally, how to use it. Because whether you're religious or not, you pray when you ask for things. When you ask for things from yourself, when you ask for the strength, when you want others to give you kind words, when you want to be able to speak to yourself positively with encouragement, if you want to eliminate self talk, if you have a dialogue with yourself to help coach yourself through a difficult situation, you're basically praying because at the end of the day, you can't control any outcome. You can only control your actions. You can only control your inputs into the system. You can't control the outputs because there are too many variables. You can't factor everything in. Now, you can do things reliably to increase the probability that you're going to produce some result, but especially when it comes to things like prayer, you can't do that. So a lot of people think that prayer either doesn't work or they shouldn't do it or it's pointless or they'll do it, but they do it because they're desperately trying to get an outcome. And when it happens, they think it's because of the prayer. I'll tell you what prayer is, right? Prayer is really asking for guidance. That's what prayer is. Prayer is not getting an answer. So when you pray for something, it doesn't mean that it is going to happen. So if I prayed for this thing and it happens, it means it happened because I prayed. No, no, no. It asked because you unlocked your own inner wisdom. You unlocked something within you that communicates to the world. You can consider it communicating with God or communicating with the universe, but fundamentally, it's communicating with that universal energy that created everything because we didn't create it, it created us. So same with love, right? We just love because we're human. We didn't choose to love. We were just loved and our parents didn't choose to love. Love is basically, I would say it's an evolutionary tool, but it's really the fundamental essence of everything because love is creation. The only reason we will actually stay and raise offspring is because we have those emotions for the offspring. If we had no interest, if we didn't have any emotion, we wouldn't find any need to actually raise offspring. So you might argue that we have a biological need to survive and to reproduce, hence why love actually exists. But I would argue that the the function of love is more than just survival and reproduction. The reason it's more than just a tool of survival and reproduction is because fundamentally it's the deepest, most powerful emotion that human beings want to feel. They want to be able to love and to feel loved. And so what happens when you pray is you're connecting with that part of yourself that is open and expansive and creative. And you're allowing that part of you to communicate with something greater. You can consider it's communicating with your own consciousness. So you're speaking to yourself, or it's communicating with something outside of you. It doesn't really matter what you think or what I think. What matters is what is the function of prayer. So when I pray, I'll tell you what I do. What I do is I really ask for guidance. So I say God, right? You could say whatever you want. You could say the source. You could say divinity. You could say my creator. You can say the universe. You can say anything that you want. You could say my higher consciousness. So or the deeper part of me. You can use whatever phrase or whatever word works for you. But what I say is I say, please God, give me the strength today to act courageously, to act confidently, to stay on the straight and narrow path, for me to have, um, for me to have, for you to unlock my heart and my mind to release my gifts to the fullest degree, so that way I can give those to the world in the most effective way. And whatever happens, I will accept it because it is your will. And whatever happens is good because it has come from you, and I will find a way to use it as guidance. So please give me your wisdom and give me your guidance. Everything I do through you, and I give you all the glory. Thank you. Something to that effect, because you're basically humbling yourself because you think that the you that you are right now, is the you across every single scenario, but it's not, because you could think about it. The you that's here now listening to this video, watching this video, may be different than the you that's with your parents, maybe different than the you that's with your friends. Maybe it's different than the you that's, you know, going out to drink or to party with a group of people is different than the you that's in an interview, different than the you that's running a business, different than the you that's doing anything with your nephews, with your kids. So you're bringing a different version of yourself. It's not like you're 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 not being you, but there are different sides, right? There are different parts of you, and you want to make sure there are also other parts of you that succumb to vices and to temptations and will lead you down dark places. And so basically what you're doing when you're praying is you're calling all parts of you to move in the same direction, so they can all basically collaborate and cooperate to move in the same direction. Because the last thing that you want to do is the last thing you want to do is sabotage your own progress, your own success, by not resolving different parts of yourself that you've ignored, that you've shunned, that you've avoided, that you've run away from. And those call out for attention. And so what they will do is they will take back control by effectively keeping you at a specific level or tearing you even down further. It's not other people, right? It's really just different parts of you that you've internalized from other people via the conditioning that you received, you know, as a child, through society, through your family, through your peers, etc. And so none of that is actually your fault, but it's just part of human nature. So the best thing that you can do is when you pray, and when my alarms go off every hour on the hour, is that's what I'm praying for. I'm not praying for some specific outcome, right? Remember, it's really about allowing the energy to come through me so that I can be the best version of myself. So I'm simultaneously asking, setting an intention, and thanking, right? So I'm thanking, I'm loving, I'm setting an intention. What is my purpose? And I'm bringing all parts of myself together so we can all move in that direction. Because it's also oriented towards some kind of a goal, right? The goal of the day. So it doesn't have to be a specific goal. Some people say you can have gratitude around specific goals throughout the day. You see them as complete, and then you continue to work in that direction. If that produces some level of anxiety or uncertainty or self-judgment because you know that you're not going to be able to complete those goals because maybe you set them out to be more difficult than you can actually accomplish, then what you do is you scale back and you say, okay, what can I do right now, right, in this moment? And then what I also ask for is that any mistakes that I make, please give me the wisdom to allow myself to regard myself with grace and compassion, so that way I can get back on the path. So I even pray for, if I fall off, just give me the strength for me to get back on the path. And again, if you don't believe in God, don't worry about it, because you're calling on different parts of yourself to actually come on the same team, to get on the same side, so you can all work together towards the same mission. Because the last thing that you want is different parts of you to be in a schism with one another. So one part of you is moving in this direction, another part is moving in this direction, another part is moving in this direction, and then all of a sudden you find yourself confused and lost and you don't know where you're going. So when you pray, what you're doing is you're taking all of those parts, all of that energy, you're concentrating it into a direction, into a focus, into a purpose, into a goal for your behavior, for your character, so that way you can set the pathway going forward, and you're going to feel more confident even when you make mistakes, that you can get back on the wagon if you fall off. So I hope that video was helpful. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel. And join my school community, because it is free. We do 2 group calls every single week. I've got about 20 members in the group right now. We just had another call a few hours ago. It happens Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, free in the group. And we went over. Typically, these calls are an hour, but today I think it was like we went for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and we were just talking about everything. So if you need help with something, if you want somebody to bounce ideas off of, if you need support with solving something in your life, if you want support with anything that I talk about, it could be anything: physical health, psychological health, spiritual health. It could be business, finances, right? Because, you know, I'm a high ticket closer. So anything that you need help with, please either ask a question in the comments, or just join my group and we can discuss there. So hope that was helpful. And in the meantime, I will see you soon.